you ready to do this? Yep, I'm ready. I'm not here for the publicity. I'm here today because Pep's life is worth more than Buenas noches, Papa.
Good night, Bella mia. Good night. Buonanotte, Bella mia. E vai a dormire?
It would just be before we go to bed, you are my sunshine. He was like, oh, you know, it's so beautiful. And now I think, now we really understand the lyrics to that song. Please don't take my sunshine. Our sunshine's been taken away.
To breaking news now, a Perth father who was attacked in Northbridge on the weekend has died.
This one?
40-year-old Giuseppe Reco, the manager of Paramount nightclub, suffered critical injuries outside a kebab shop just before 5 a.m. on Saturday.
Heartbroken friends and family have remembered Giuseppe Reco as a family man.
Sorry.
They're now rallying around his pregnant wife.
Jalen Denny Diamond received a 7.5-year sentence for manslaughter. The court heard he'd been drinking all day and all night before he attacked Giuseppe.
When I was asked to write a statement on how the death of my husband has affected my life, I thought to myself, how am I supposed to explain the impact that losing my husband, best friend, the person I chose to be the father of my children.
It's been a year now since my son got killed by a coward punch behind his head. He was born in Italy in a town called Lockery. I brought him here in Australia for a better life. That was my only child. That was my only child, yeah.
First, I liked this tanned, beautiful man. I loved how he had this energy about him, and he was always the life of the party. He brought people together, he made people happy. I knew that I wanted to marry him. And apparently he did too, because he said to one of his friends, I'll marry her. My wedding day was very magical. It was a beautiful day. The look of pure happiness and love that was on his face. When I was at the altar, I felt just happy, excited. I look back at the video and I think, oh my gosh, so much has changed. But at that time, I felt really happy. And the worst thing is that all our pain has been caused by the hands of another person. He couldn't wait to have kids because he's an only child, so he'd always say, I want 10 kids. And I'd say, get out of town. Like, no. He was a playful dad. He was always playing with Valentina. They would play hide and seek a lot, and he'd always just run around the house dancing.
There's a video where they say cheese.
Saluti, Bella mia. I love you. Saluti.
The only thing that mattered to him was his little girl, his wife, and his family.
I loved Pep a lot. He was my life.
It was Valentina's birthday, just a week before he died.
So we did my daughter's second birthday.
And that day, made a balloon to break it to see what the other baby was.
We popped this balloon, found out we were having another girl, and he was so happy.
So they celebrated Valentina's birthday and the new arrival of Sophia.
I want to talk about the last night. You okay?
Yeah. The last night was just like any other night.
Like every other Fridays, we had dinner together.
Put Valentina to bed. I'm pretty sure I told him off for pick your socks up, because he left them on the ground.
The last thing he said to me when he walked me out the door, he said, "Thank you, Papa." That's what he said. And that's the last time I've seen him.
The last time I saw my husband Pep alive, it was around 8 p.m. on Friday, the 4th of July, 2020. He had finished getting ready for work. He went into his daughter's room. She was asleep. He gave her a kiss, came out, kissed me goodbye, and left for work.
So Pep's job was as a PR manager. He made sure that our patrons had a great time and that our staff also had a great time. So I'm the general manager of Paramount Nightclub. Basically, I just make sure that the party goes off without a hitch. He was floating around, welcoming people on the front door. It was really business as usual. Even at about 4 o'clock, we were all just like, wow, that was actually a really good night. I haven't talked about this a lot. Actually, this is probably the first time that I've really actually talked about it with anyone.
Pep had gone across the road to get something to eat.
One of Anta's cousin was with him, and they just went across to get a kebab.
I'm sitting in the office, watching what's going on the cameras, and that's when I saw that there was a commotion going on out the front.
Pep was minding his own business.
And they were eating a kebab.
I left the office and went quite quickly to the front door.
There was something that happened in front of him. He then stepped back to kind of get out the way.
There was a lot of people in the street. Dimer came up behind Pep.
Dimer came from behind and hit him in the head.
Do you forgive me? I didn't look after him. What else could I say to him?
She said, you know, you have to turn it off. You think, what happened? Why am I here? I still haven't seen the video, any video of what happened, because I can't do it. Pep was minding his own business, and then someone came behind.
He got punched from behind.
I hear that sound. I do hear the thump in.
After he was struck, he hasn't hit the floor. He's actually stumbled away from his attack.
I think he slowly sat down.
I'm to understand he struck him so hard, basically it was catastrophic. He was just at the entrance of the kebab shop on the far side. He was seated, slouched against the wall. He was already unconscious. We started checking for signs of life response, to which there was none. In checking his response, I saw his pupils. They were blown out and fixed and dilated. I've checked his airway, which was completely blocked by kebab.
You didn't see anybody coming.
He didn't see it coming.
I've started chest compressions.
So Tristan performed CPR.
And we just set to work, just doing as much as we could for as long as we could.
They tried hard to get his heart going again.
Tell me what is going through your head.
What was going through my head is that it could have been me. The ambulance turns up, he was in the ambulance and gone in the space of minutes.
Straight to the hospital.
4:30 in the morning, I received a phone call.
And it was my cousin who was with Pep.
And he said, Zio, listen, I'm on the way to the Royal Perth Hospital and I'll come around and pick you up.
And he said to me, very calmly, Pep's been hit. The police and the ambulance said you have to get to the hospital.
When I got there to see my son, all with all those tubes and that on him, and he was in coma.
Called his name. Go and kiss him. I was just saying, come back, you know.
I said to him, you can talk straight to me. How's Pep's condition?
The force behind this punch was so strong that his whole brain,
Only people that lose the only child they had would understand how I felt. I mean, yeah.
I think it was Sunday, and I got a message from the family, and that I should probably come down and say goodbye. Sorry.
It was up to us to tell them the time that they would take the life support off. Imagine, so we left that decision to answer.
how do you choose a time to stop your husband's heart from beating? I couldn't choose that, so I said to the ICU specialist, she can decide that for me. And I remember saying to her when it was getting close, can we just like push it out a little bit longer? And she goes, why, you know? I said, because she said, you know, we have to turn it off.
I was on one side, Answer was on the other side, and I was touching his face, and I said, Pep, sorry I didn't look after you. Yep. That's all I said. Do you forgive me? I didn't look after him. What else could I say to him?
I just hugged him. I just hugged him. Next comes choosing his casket and then seeing him in it and then seeing him lowered into the ground and buried.
Just walked away, like nothing.
And left Pep dead.
This is not fair. This is not fair.
I know nothing will bring back Pep, but he could be free in 5 years for killing someone.
My son, he respected everybody. Black, white, yellow, every colour. Jail and Diamond plead guilty from the first minute, and that's how we got to sentence day.
Felt nervous, felt angry, thought I had to be so close to this person that killed my husband.
Whatever sentence will bring my son back. I was hoping for a bit of justice.
You started drinking whiskey at 11 a.m. on July 4, 2020.
I know he had a sad childhood. I know that he had a violent history and that he'd been away in jail.
You do have a significant criminal record. The most recent serious offending was an aggravated armed robbery committed in 2013.
He had a history with alcohol.
The attack involved a single blow with a clenched fist. After delivering the blow, you continued walking.
Just walked away. Like nothing.
And then he walked away and left Pip dead.
It's cowardly. Who does that to another individual?
A coward continues walking. Yeah.
Makes me so angry. Why? There are no words to describe our pain. I feel that no matter the outcome of this sentence, there will never be justice for me and my girls. Nothing will ever equate for our loss.
Jalen Denny Dimer for the manslaughter, that is, the unlawful killing of Giuseppe Racco.
Can't breathe. You feel like you can't breathe.
You were sentenced to 7 years and 6 months imprisonment. I order that you be eligible for parole.
Just like a kick in the guts.
In that moment, I just freezed. I stood up and walked out.
He got 7.5 years, but he could be out in 5 with parole.
I was so angry and I was just shaking my head. I said, this is not fair. This is not fair.
All in black, all in mourning. These are the faces of a family still waiting for justice.
Just tell me how you're going to feel.
He's taken Pep's life forever. Pep didn't do anything. And he's going to be out probably 5 years with his child. You just feel nothing. You feel empty. You feel angry.
There's no required minimum sentence for this type of crime in Western Australia. As bad as this case was, and in particular for the victims, it was nowhere near the sort of case that could be described as being the worst possible example of its type. He was charged with the more serious offence of manslaughter, and to his great credit, he pleaded guilty to that. I think Dimer's sentence was a significant sentence for the particular circumstances in which he faced himself.
How can someone's life be worth 5 years?
Listen, when you do a coward act like that, you're a coward.
The idea of coward's collar is that there needs to be some kind of mandatory sentencing for behaviour like that. At least 10 years. But you know what? After that, after they're released from prison, then there still needs to be some level of control. If you've proven that you cannot be in an entertainment precinct or a busy venue or around alcohol, you need to go at least 5 years without walking into a licensed premises, without going to the footy, without going into big crowds or entertainment precincts where there are big crowds.
So, in doing that, other people think about it. I don't want to have that mark on me, a coward's collar mark.
I hate the label for a start. I think it's an appalling thing to call someone. Research would suggest that naming and shaming has had no positive deterrent effect. It's very difficult to see how practically it would work.
It needs to be so stigmatised, so unpalatable, that when friends look at some other friend who has done behaviour like this, and they need to be shocked by it, disgusted by it even. If Coward's Collar had been around 5 years, 10 years, even a year ago, Pep might still be around today.
But the reality is that the justice system was never ever going to be able to do anything that would give her satisfaction, because the truth is, no matter what sentence he got, it would never be high enough.
I know nothing will bring back Pep, but he could be free in 5 years for killing someone. That's just, it's just ridiculous. It's just so sad.
For me, the system is broken completely. The system is broken completely.
Valentina misses him.
You are my sunshine.
She talks about him every day.
Thank God, oh God, he's 2 little kids, my grandchildren.
No, I will never stop fighting for change.
My sunshine.
We visit the cemetery every week and take flowers to Pep. Valentina misses him. She talks about him every day. You know, a lot. I couldn't even look at her. I was too scared she would mention his name. She would say to me, "Where is my papa, Mummy? Is papa at work?"
My little granddaughter, she sits on her dad's grave and she says, "This is my papa." Imagine the heartbreak in that minute, you know.
She blows kisses every night to him. I tell her to talk to him because he can hear her. And I tell her he will always be here to look after all of us.
Listen, sometimes I keep my emotion inside, but at the same time, inside of me, my heart breaks. The only child I had in life, I lost it. Thank God, oh God, he's 2 little kids, my grandchildren. And they give me the strength to go ahead.
The shadow of fate, you're walking away 100 steps.
How did we get here? How did time go? How has Pep already missed so much?
I watched him die. I just can't get over it. I'm always going to be left with all of what happened that night.
I will never stop fighting for change. And, you know, there's a lot of families that have been through the same thing and they want change, and we will fight together.
But something's got to change. At some point, someone's got to be as outraged as I am.
Pep did not deserve to die. He deserved to watch his children grow and to be able to grow old with them. He deserved to live a full life, full of love and happiness.
We thank the Racco family for telling their story. As you heard, they want change and are calling for the Coward's Collar. 10 years minimum jail time, followed by a 5-year ban from entertainment precincts and licensed premises. You can support the Racco family's idea by signing their petition. You'll find details on their Facebook page, Justice for Pep. There'll be more on their push for Coward's Collar in tomorrow's West and on 7 News this week. Good night.